Newsline. Today is Monday, February 9, 2026. My name is Fabian Kuya presenting, and these are our top stories. Surging funds for development to agree Konya Vonjama Road project in Lofa County. Liberia Immigration Service solicits 2 officers for forgiving resident permits. UN Women approves over 600,000 United States dollars for recruitment of more women in the army. And in foreign news, Eritrea rejects Ethiopia's border through allegations as false. These stories and much more, including sports, the weather report, the news in Liberian English and French. But first, the news bulletin in Great style.
Finance and Development Planning Minister Augustine Gapwan has reaffirmed government's commitment to accelerating national infrastructure development. Minister Gapwan made the remark during a courtesy call by a delegation from the Saudi Fund for Development at his office in Monrovia. The delegation, led by the Director of West Africa Operations, Abdul Rahman Al Abri, is in the country to review ongoing projects and assess financing for new priority interventions. The Finance Minister said the visit forms part of the government's broader strategy to mobilize international financing to fast-track infrastructure and other critical economic development projects nationwide.
Has concluded a recent concession and was approved by the legislature with public fund that will address that is going to be very common winter. They are mobilizing to start. They come from Sierra Leone.
Minister Gapwan noted that before the assumption of office by the current administration, several infrastructure interventions were sought due to the inability of the previous government to meet its financial commitment to development partners, including the Saudi Fund. He disclosed that the Liberian government has already secured financing commitments for the Salaye to Konya corridor for the Arab Bank for Economic Development in Africa and entered into a concession arrangement with Pabi Port for the Medicoma to Wandama corridor. For his part, Mr. Al Abri conveyed warm greetings from the Chief Executive Officer of the Saudi Fund for Development and reaffirmed the more than 48-year partnership between the Liberia and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He commended the credibility of the current government, describing it as a key factor in the fund's renewed engagement with the country. Mr. Al-Habib expressed the SFD's willingness to review proposals for priority development projects and provide financing where feasible. Among the projects highlighted for consideration are the paving of the Konya to Banjama corridor along the ongoing Banga Medikoman Highway, as well as the extension of electricity from the Botota CLSG substation to communities along the corridor. Mr. Al-Habri disclosed that a formal request for financing of the electricity extension project has already been submitted by Liberia's ambassador to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on behalf of the government of Liberia. The Ministry of Finance and Development Planning has clarified that the budget published on Sunday was signed by President Joseph Boakai. The clarification followed a front-page Africa's Monday, February 9 publication, alleging that the budget was not signed by the president. In a phone interview with Elbc Monday, Finance Ministry media consultant Daniel Yankona said the budget was signed since December 2025 by the Liberian leader.
Signed the budget on the 22nd of December 2025, and the budget preparation period has continued because the draft budget submitted to the legislature was 1.11 billion.
Mr. Yankona argued that there is no financial law that compels the president to make public the signing of the budget. Meanwhile, the MFDP media consultant is urging media institutions to base their reportage on professionalism and not speculations. Liberia immigration status has dismissed 2 of 8 officers for fraud, forgery, and falsification of official documents of resident permit cards. According to Chile's Director of Communications, Laura Massacre Page, the entity also suspended Officer Mark Sherry for 2 months without pay in connection with a criminal case. Speaking at a news conference Monday in Monrovia, Madam Page noted that the decision was reached following a comprehensive investigation carried out by Liz Special Investigative Team.
As headed by our Colonel Elijah F. Rufus, has deemed it necessary to take this action against our officers.
She said the actions are in strict accordance with the Liz Code of Conduct and Disciplinary Regulations of 2016, which talks about criminal misconduct, abuse of authority, corruption, bribery, forgery, and falsification of records. Meanwhile, the list was cautioning the public against conducting business with the dismissed and suspended officers. The UN Women has approved over 600,000 United States dollars for the recruitment of more women in the armed forces of Liberia. The money under the LC Initiative Fund project aims to increase women's participation in the armed forces and enhance their deployment to UN peacekeeping operations. The project is a 2-year effort which will be led by the Defense Ministry in partnership with UN Women. At the launch of the project Monday, UN Women Liberia Representative Kofi Ireland said the project seeks to prioritize serious nationwide recruitment campaigns. Mr. Ireland emphasized that the funding will not be used for salaries or infrastructure development, but to ensure that women representation in the AFL is increased significantly from the 7%. He added that beyond recruitment, the project seeks to address deeper systematic issues by supporting policy reforms on recruitment, retention, whistleblowing, and harassment prevention. At the same time, Defense Minister Geraldine George Johnson has hailed the UN Women for what she calls a massive support to efforts aimed at increasing the number of women in the Army. Minister Johnson said the LC Initiative Fund project will enhance not only gender inclusion, but also the operational effectiveness and professionalism of Liberia's peacekeeping contributions. She said the project fully aligns with the country's national priorities, including the National Defense Act and the National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security. The Defense Minister added that the project also supports the ministry and the AFL gender policy while aligning with global frameworks and the Sustainable Development Goals. For his part, AFL Chief of Staff Major General Davison Falair said the funding is a huge support to the Army's dream of recruiting 600 new personnel annually. He said the LC Initiative Fund project will enable the Army carry out an inclusive female recruitment for the first time. Major General Falair said despite delays for the approval for recruitment in this year's national budget, the AFL is positive that a rigorous recruitment campaign will take place to enhance the manpower of the Army. The launch of the LC Initiative Fund project was graced by several female personnel of various security apparatus, including Bond County District 6 Representative Mama Briggs Mentor. Liberia's ambassador to Cyprus, Dr. Tiko Yole, has called on investors and enterprises in Cyprus to explore opportunities in Liberia. Ambassador Yole pointed to agriculture and agro-processing, infrastructure development, renewable energy, tourism, maritime services, and logistics as areas to invest in. He made a call recently when he presented his letters of credence to the president of Cyprus, reaffirming Liberia's commitment to strengthening bilateral relations between the two nations. Ambassador Yole emphasized Liberia's deep respect for Cyprus' democratic traditions, adherence to the rule of law, and constructive role in regional and global affairs. Ambassador Yole underscored the alignment between Liberia's arrest agenda and Cyprus' development priorities, noting that this shared vision presents significant opportunities for cooperation in several areas. Meanwhile, Cyprus President Nikos Christodoulis, President of the Republic of Cyprus, says his government stands ready to explore new opportunities to enhance the ties between the countries. He noted that the friendship between Cyprus and Liberia continues at the bilateral level through the participation of both nations in international organizations. Youth and Sports Minister designate Anthony Cornelia Kura has laid out a vision to reshape Liberia's approach to youth empowerment. Speaking at a confirmation hearing Monday, Anthony Kura said, if confirmed, a vision will center on governance reform and evidence-based policy. She noted that her tenure would also focus on creating clear, tangible pathways for young Liberians to access skills training, services, entrepreneurial support, and economic opportunities. According to her, a key mechanism for this will be robust coordination across multiple government ministries with national stakeholders. The Youth and Sports Minister designate pledged to ensure the transformation of the ministry into a dynamic hub for research, design, and strategic thinking. The National AIDS Commission has launched an inception meeting for the development of Liberia's HIV National Strategic Plan 3, known as NSP 3, covering the period 2027 to 2032. The meeting brought together representatives from government institutions, development partners, civil society organizations, key stakeholders, and the media. Speaking Monday in Monrovia, NSC Chairperson Cecilia Nuta said the plan will guide Liberians as Liberia's national HIV response and promote collaboration across sectors, especially health. Dr. Nuta also noted that under the previous plan, Liberia made some progress, including improved coordination and expanded access to HIV services. Meanwhile, the Commission said challenges such as new infections, stigma, discrimination, and gender inequality still remain. 4 health professionals have departed the country for specialized trauma care training at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, in New Delhi, India. The training designed for medical and nursing professionals emphasizes hands-on and practice-oriented learning while minimizing disruption to participant regular duties. A health release said the training scheduled for February 11 to 17 is sponsored by the Government of India under the Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation Program. The week-long course will combine theoretical instruction with tabletop practical exercises and conducted by trauma care specialists at the Apex Trauma Care Facility of AAIIMS. The course is expected to bring together participants from several regions across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Oceania, providing an opportunity for cross-country learning and experience sharing in trauma management. The Health Ministry expresses appreciation to the government and people of India through its embassy near Monrovia. And the assigned judge of the Criminal Court B has urged the government to increase the judiciary budget allocation in order to provide more training initiatives for lawyers. Judge Mamieta Jabate Salih said the role of lawyers extends beyond the courtroom while being instrumental in administering justice, upholding the rule of law, developing democracy, and providing human rights. Judge Jabate Salih reiterated that to build more trust in Liberia's judicial system, it is crucial that lawyers uphold the highest standards of professionalism and ethics, which includes maintaining client confidentiality, avoiding conflicts of interest, and promoting justice and equality. The court's presiding judge emphasized that the judiciary has the authority in strengthening the rule of law and democracy, noting that justice and development are inseparable, which is needed mostly now than ever. Judge Jabate Salih noted that the rule of law is a fundamental principle that ensures all individuals, including government officials and lawmakers, are subject to the laws and that the laws apply equally to everyone regardless of status or position. The Criminal Court B presiding judge made the remarks Monday when she delivered the charge of the opening of the February term of court at the Temple of Justice.
Good, so and the news bulletin.